What's good? What's good, man? Let's get into it. Cleveland, I ain't forget about you, man. What's up, Cleveland? I've been wanting to do this video. I wanted to do this video last week, but unfortunately, Cleveland lost, and I think Deshaun Watson was injured last week, so I had to wait and see what happens. But, let's talk about the Cleveland Browns, man. No one's really talking about the Cleveland Browns and how, despite all the controversy, despite all the injuries, Cleveland they're doing their thing right now. I think they're 5-3 or somewhere around there. I know they're above 500. I think they're 5-3, and they just shut out the Cardinals 27-0. Now, granted, the Cardinals are tanking, but Deshaun Watson had a good game. It looks like Deshaun Watson is, hopefully coming back to form. You know what I'm saying? I really hope, he does. The Browns are third in the division, 5-3. So are the Bengals. So, listen, they have a winning record and they look like they're clicking. Now, I just want to point something out. The Browns are my Super Bowl sleeper on the simple fact of this. You need a defense to go to a Super Bowl. You need at least a good defense. And right now, the Browns have a good defense led by Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is an animal. This dude is an animal. Dude is amazing. He's up there with T.J. Watt and Nick Bosa as some of the best pass rushers in the league. And the defense is honestly playing lights out. Even when Deshaun Watson wasn't there, go look up what they did to the 49ers. Go look what they did to the Colts. Granted, they had P.J. Walker, P.J. Tucker, whatever his name is, the XFL quarterback back there. So therefore, they weren't going to win nothing. But at the same time, that defense still held the offense to, 14, 20 points. This Browns defense led by Myles Garrett is amazing. It is amazing. Like the Browns, and I've always been high on the Browns defense. I've been following the Browns since Baker Mayfield was there because I'm an Oklahoma fan, Boomer Sooner. And I always liked the Browns defense. Myles Garrett gets a bad rap for what he did to that clown, that idiot Mason Rudolph, who deserved to get his helmet, who deserved, I'm not even going to get into that. It is what it is. If you know, you know. But at the same time, Myles Garrett is one of the best players in the league right now, one of the best pass rushers besides maybe Nick Bosa, T.J. Watt, and even Nick Bosa has been quiet for a little bit the last few weeks. And maybe Aiden Hutchinson, one of the best. Myles Garrett is right up there. He's right up there. And he's leading this defense to a lot of stops, not letting the team score, the whole nine. Let's move on. I want to give a shout-out to Kareem Hunt, man. I always liked Kareem Hunt. I always thought Kareem Hunt got a bad rap. Number one, because of what happened in the hotel room when he was with the Chiefs pushing that girl, which she deserved because, you shouldn't be attacking a football player when he's kicking you out his hotel, but that's besides the point. But I always thought Kareem Hunt had a bad rap. But Kareem Hunt is, honestly, I'm going to keep it real. Kareem Hunt is he top 10? Is he a top 10 running back? Well, with Nick Chubb gone, he might be. Saquon Barkley, I'm so done with Saquon as a Giants fan. But at the same time, not Dak. I'm looking at my TV and they have Dak Prescott on my screen. But Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt is one of the best running backs in the league. He's vastly underrated. Dude can run. He can receive. Pause. He can catch the ball. Pause right there. That's a huge pause right there. But he can catch the ball. He can pass block. Kareem Hunt. And by the way, I don't know why Cleveland released him in the first place. I know you guys re-signed him after the Nick Chubb injury, but he's a good player. Now, I don't know if he wanted money. I don't know if he wanted to be released, but you got him back. It's a good thing you got him back, especially with Nick Chubb. Hopefully Nick Chubb recovers. But with Nick Chubb being out, you need all the run support you can get. And, Nick Chubb is doing his thing, man. Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt's doing his thing. Kareem Hunt is doing his thing. So the run game's good. You got and by the way, that number 34 guy, I think he's Ford, I think his name is. I don't know his name. I got a few Cleveland Browns fans in my comment section. You guys can tell me what his name is in the comment section, but they're really good, man. They're really good. Offensive line is holding up somewhat, but they're really good. But Cleveland, I got to talk about them, man. I got to talk about them. Deshaun Watson. Now, I always say this in my Browns videos. This is a football video. Don't care about what happened off the field. So leave it at that. If you're someone who's triggered by that, please go away. Anyways, let's talk about it, man. Deshaun, man. Deshaun, you've had such an up and down season this year. You started off with a 2-game winning streak. No, you started off with a 2-game winning streak. You lost to the Steelers. Then you had that amazing game against the Titans where you almost threw for 300 yards. It was like 289 and 3-4 touchdowns. It's like, and then you come back against the Colts, I believe, and you like 1 for 5 and throw an interception and get injured again. You missed last week's game, which I think Seattle. That's where the defense was playing good. Seattle. You guys beat the Colts and you lost to Seattle last week. And then you come back this game, Deshaun, have a good game. 2 touchdowns, 219, no interceptions. Listen, man, I like Deshaun Watson, man. I always like Deshaun Watson. As a Florida State fan, I hate Clemson, but one of my guilty pleasures was Deshaun Watson was that dude with Clemson, and I believed he was going to have a comeback season this year. Was I expecting this? No. Deshaun being injured here and there, having the inconsistent games? No. But if Deshaun can just stay focused and right the ship, if he could just be this Deshaun for the next, I don't know, what is it, week 9? So what we got, 9 more weeks? I mean, the 18 weeks, right? We got 18 weeks, no, 17 games. So that means we have 18 weeks. Yeah, so 9 more weeks, 8 more weeks. If he can be this Deshaun, this team can be a Super Bowl sleeper. Because, I mean, let's be for real. The Ravens and the Browns and the Steelers and the Browns and, unfortunately, the Bengals and the Browns, they all play each other at least twice a year. So they know what they like to do. They know what they like to do. When it comes to divisional games, you never know. Now, if they verse Mahomes, of course, they're going to lose to Mahomes. But honestly, if they go up against the Bills, are we sure the Browns can't beat the Bills? I mean, the Bills are looking shaky right now. And that Browns defense ain't letting up. That Browns defense is not letting up. It just all relies on Deshaun Watson's arm. Literally on his shoulder, on his arm. If he can stay healthy or not. And this game was a step in the right direction. Came back, beat the Cardinals. I know it's the Cardinals. It is what it is. But at the same time, if I'm just going to ask anybody who doesn't like Deshaun Watson, doesn't believe in the Browns or whatever the case may be, if Deshaun Watson were to lose to the Cardinals, or if Deshaun Watson didn't have the game, they say like Deshaun threw for like 125 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, but they still won the game, you guys will be criticizing him way more than you're giving him praise for him throwing over 200 yards, 219, and 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. At least with me, I'm consistent. Do I like Deshaun? Yes. Do I want Deshaun to succeed? Absolutely. But at the same time, I can sit here and say Deshaun Watson has been he's below my standards of what I thought he was going to be this year. But at the same time, the Browns are 5-3. They're 5-3. Deshaun Watson seems like he's back after this game. So you never know. You never know. And then also, and shout out to the Dolphins. But at the same time, Dolphins, you guys got to be able to beat someone with a winning record. The Dolphins are going to make the playoffs. The Dolphins are going to do this, that, and third. But if the Dolphins match up with Cleveland, especially if it's in Cleveland where it's cold out, are we sure the Browns can't get them? If it's cold and snowy out in Cleveland, are we sure the Dolphins can beat the Browns? That defense against that offense. And listen, I like the Dolphins, and I might do a video on the Dolphins very soon because I have to talk about them because them not beating anybody with a winning record. I mean, the Cleveland Browns have beaten more people with a winning record than the Dolphins. They beat the Bengals and they beat the 49ers. Yeah, they beat the Bengals and the 49ers. The Dolphins haven't done that, and there's a Dolphins fan on my channel. I think he has a picture of Jalen Waddle or Tua. Shout out to you, bro, but you got to keep it real, bro. You got to keep it real. And anybody who's a Dolphins fan on my channel, you got to keep it real. You guys have to beat some type of competition. And Cleveland keeps it competitive, good defense. It's just all about Deshaun. If Deshaun can just stay right, healthy-wise and mentality-wise, Cleveland's a sleeper, bro. Cleveland is a sleeper. People are sleeping on Cleveland, man. But that's my thoughts, man. What are yours? What's your thoughts on Cleveland and the Cleveland Browns? RJ out.